After months of feeling invisible in his 3-year relationship, Derek finally tried to talk to his girlfriend Chloe about their growing distance. Her response? "The door is open if you're unhappy." Some words hang in the air like smoke after a fire. You can't see them anymore, but you can still smell them, still feel them burning somewhere in the back of your throat. For me, those words were, "The door is open if you're unhappy." My name is Derek, I'm 29, and for 3 years I loved a woman named Chloe. She was 27, a pediatric nurse with a smile that could calm crying children and a sharp tongue that could cut down anyone who crossed her. When we met at a mutual friend's wedding, I was a best man and she was a bridesmaid, and we spent the entire reception dancing like idiots and pretending we weren't already falling for each other. The first 2 years were easy. The kind of easy that makes you believe in fate, in soulmates, and all the corny things you swore you'd never believe. We moved in together after 18 months, adopted a rescue dog named Waffles, and talked about the future like it was a road trip we were both excited to take. Then something shifted. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when. Maybe it was when Chloe started picking up extra shifts at the hospital, coming home exhausted and short-tempered. Maybe it was when I got passed over for a promotion at my marketing job and spent 3 months wallowing in self-pity. Maybe it was just the natural erosion that happens when two people stop trying, stop noticing, stop choosing each other. Whatever it was, by the beginning of year 3, we were roommates who occasionally had sex. We ate dinner in front of separate screens. We talked about logistics. Who was walking Waffles? Who was buying groceries? Who was handling the utility bill? We stopped asking about each other's days. Stopped reaching for each other in the dark. I felt it. I felt the distance growing, a physical space between us that got wider with each passing week. And I tried to bridge it. "Chloe, can we talk?" I'd say, finding her on the couch, scrolling through her phone. "About what?" She wouldn't look up. "About us. About how we haven't had a real conversation in weeks. I'm tired, Derek. I work 12-hour shifts with sick kids. Forgive me if I don't have the energy for deep talks when I get home. It's not about energy. It's about you feeling neglected because I'm not doting on you enough. I get it. Can we do this another time?" Another time never came. I suggested couples counseling. She laughed. "We don't need counseling. We need you to get over yourself." I planned date nights. She canceled half of them, showed up distracted for the rest. I bought her flowers, left notes on the bathroom mirror, tried to recreate the magic of those early days. Nothing worked. Nothing got through. And then came the fight that changed everything. It was a Thursday night. I'd cooked dinner, her favorite, chicken piccata, and set the table with actual plates instead of the usual takeout containers. I wanted to talk about our upcoming anniversary, wanted to plan something special, wanted to feel like we were still a couple who celebrated things. She came home an hour late, dropped her bag by the door, and went straight to the bedroom to change. "Hey," I called from the kitchen. "Dinner's ready. I ate at the hospital." "Oh. Okay. I made chicken piccata." A pause. Then, from the bedroom. "I said I already ate." I stood there, holding the serving spoon, feeling stupid. Feeling small. Feeling like I'd planned a party and no one showed up. I followed her to the bedroom. She was in yoga pants and an old t-shirt now, sitting on the edge of the bed, scrolling through her phone. "Chloe, can we talk? You're going to guilt me about dinner, aren't you?" I worked a double. I was exhausted. I grabbed something from the cafeteria. "I didn't know you were making a production out of a Thursday night. It's not about dinner. It's about us. It's about the fact that I can't remember the last time you looked at me like you actually wanted to be here." She finally looked up. Her eyes were flat. Tired. "Here we go. Here we go? That's your response? What do you want me to say, Derek? That I'm sorry I work too much? That I'm sorry I'm not the perfect girlfriend anymore? News flash, life is hard. Adults get tired. Relationships require work on both sides. I know they do. That's why I keep trying. That's why I keep reaching out. But you keep pulling away. She stood up, crossed her arms. The defensive posture I'd come to recognize. Maybe I'm pulling away because you're suffocating me. Maybe I need space to breathe without you analyzing every text I send, every hour I'm late, every moment I'm not performing girlfriend duty to your satisfaction. Her words hit like slaps. Performing? That's what you think this is? A performance? I think you have expectations I can't meet right now. And honestly, I'm tired of feeling guilty for it. I took a breath. Tried to stay calm. Okay. Then what do we do? How do we fix this? There's nothing to fix. This is just where we are. If you're unhappy with it. She gestured toward the bedroom door, toward the front door beyond it, toward the whole world outside. The door is open. The words landed. I felt them land. But I don't think she saw it on my face. The door is open, I repeated. If you're unhappy, you know where the exit is. I'm not going to beg someone to stay with me. It was a bluff. I knew it was a bluff. She was testing me, pushing me, waiting for me to crumble and reassure her that I'd never leave, that I loved her too much, that she was worth fighting for. But here's the thing about bluffs, sometimes people call them. I looked at her, really looked, for the first time in months, and I didn't see the woman I'd fallen in love with. I saw a stranger who'd been slowly dismantling our relationship piece by piece and now had the audacity to act like the door being open was my choice. Okay, I said quietly. She blinked. Okay, what? Okay. I turned and walked out of the bedroom. Derek? Derek, where are you going? I didn't answer. I went to the living room, grabbed my keys from the bowl by the door, and walked out. Not dramatically. Not angrily. Just calmly. Deliberately. Like someone who'd finally realized the house was on fire and stopped pretending everything was fine. The last thing I heard before the door clicked shut was her voice, confused, slightly irritated. Derek? Hello? I drove for an hour. Ended up at a 24-hour diner, the same one my dad used to take me to when I was a kid and my parents were fighting. I ordered coffee and sat in a booth and thought about what just happened. She'd given me an out. An actual, verbal, unambiguous out. The door is open. Those weren't words of love. They weren't words of commitment. They were words of dismissal, of challenge, of I dare you to leave so I can feel justified in my resentment. And I took her up on it. The question was, did I mean it? Was this a dramatic exit I'd regret by morning? Or was this the moment I'd been avoiding for months, the moment I finally admitted what I already knew? I sat in that diner until dawn, nursing cold coffee, watching the sky turn from black to gray to pale morning blue. And somewhere in those hours, I made a decision. The door was open. I was walking through it. I didn't go home that night. I checked into a cheap motel near the highway, the kind with scratchy sheets and a vending machine that only sold stale chips. I texted my boss that I was taking a personal day, turned off my phone, and slept for 12 hours straight. When I woke up, there were 17 messages from Chloe. Where are you? Derek, this isn't funny. I'm sorry, okay? Can we talk? You're being dramatic. Waffles misses you. Seriously, where are you? Fine. Ignore me. See how that works out. I read them all. Felt the familiar tug of guilt, of obligation, of I should call her back. But I also felt something else, relief. The kind of relief you feel when you finally stop pretending to be fine. I called my friend Marcus instead. He'd known Chloe and me since the beginning, had watched the slow decay with the sad eyes of someone who saw it coming. Bro, he said when he answered. You okay? I left. Left where? Left. Last night. We fought and she said the door was open if I was unhappy and I just left. Silence. Then, holy shit. Yeah. Are you coming back? I thought about it. Thought about the apartment, about waffles, about 3 years of my life contained in 4 walls. I don't know. Do you want to come back? That was the question. The real question. Did I want to go back to someone who saw my needs as suffocation, my attempts to connect as pressure, my love as an obligation she was tired of performing? No, I said. The word felt foreign in my mouth. I don't think I do. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then, okay. Then we figure out next steps. You need a place to stay? My couch is available. I'm at a motel. But yeah? Maybe. Thanks, man. I spent the next 3 days in a fog. I went back to the apartment when I knew Chloe was at work, packed a bag with clothes and essentials, and left before she got home. I didn't leave a note. What was there to say? She'd opened the door. I'd walk through. The rest was just details. Chloe's messages escalated. Derek, I saw you took your stuff. What is happening? You're really doing this? Over one fight? I didn't mean it like that and you know it. This is emotional manipulation. Fine. Fine. If this is what you want. Then 2 days later. I'm sorry. Please come home. Let's talk. I stared at that last message for a long time. Part of me, the part that still loved her, still remembered the good times, still hoped things could go back to how they were, wanted to respond. Wanted to believe that this time was different, that she finally understood, that we could fix whatever was broken. But another part of me, the part that had been slowly dying for months, knew better. Apologies without change are just words. And Chloe had said a lot of words over the years. I moved into Marcus's guest room. It was small, cluttered with his gym equipment and old video games, but it was mine. I started going to the office more, throwing myself into work, trying to rebuild a sense of purpose that didn't depend on another person's approval. 2 weeks passed. Chloe stopped texting. I told myself that was good, that was progress, that we were both moving on. Then she showed up at my office. I was at my desk, buried in a project, when my coworker Jenny knocked on my doorframe. Hey, Derek? There's someone here to see you. I looked up. Chloe stood behind her, holding a coffee cup from my favorite shop, wearing a dress I'd bought her last birthday. She looked beautiful. She looked like every good memory I'd ever had. Hey, she said softly. Hey. Jenny disappeared. Chloe walked in, set the coffee on my desk, and sat in the chair across from me. You've been ignoring my calls. I've been busy. Derek. Her voice cracked. Please. Just talk to me. I leaned back in my chair, crossed my arms. Defensive posture. I'd learned it from her. What is there to talk about? You said the door was open. I left. That's the whole story. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? She looked down at her hands. I was angry. Frustrated. I felt like you were always pushing, always wanting more than I could give, and I wanted you to stop. I wanted you to give me space without making me feel guilty for needing it. I didn't want you to actually leave. So you said the door was open as a test. To see if I'd stay. It wasn't a test. It was exactly a test. You wanted to see if I loved you enough to ignore your dismissal, to fight through your walls, to prove that I'd never leave no matter how badly you treated me. Her eyes widened. I didn't treat you badly. You ignored me for months. You dismissed every attempt I made to connect. You made me feel like my needs were unreasonable, like wanting to feel loved by my girlfriend was some kind of burden. And when I finally tried to talk about it, you told me the door was open. Silence. She was crying now, tears running down her cheeks. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. No. You didn't. And that's the problem. I stood up, walked to the window, stared out at the city below. I loved you, Chloe. I loved you so much I ignored my own happiness for months because I thought if I just tried hard enough, loved hard enough, you'd come back to me. But you were already gone. You'd been gone for a long time. I just didn't want to admit it. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, is there someone else? I turned, stared at her. What? Someone else. Is that why you left so fast? Did you meet someone? I laughed. Actually laughed, the sound bitter and sharp. No, Chloe. There's no one else. There's just me, finally choosing myself after years of choosing you while you chose nothing. She flinched like I'd hit her. I should go, she said, standing. I shouldn't have come. No. You shouldn't have. She paused at the door, looked back. Do you still love me? I thought about it. Thought about all the versions of us that had existed over 3 years. The beginning, when love was easy. The middle, when love was work. The end, when love was just a word we used to describe a habit we couldn't break. I don't know, I said honestly. I don't know if I ever really knew you. And I definitely don't know who you've become. She nodded slowly, wiped her eyes, and left. I sat back down at my desk and stared at the coffee she'd brought. It was still warm. I picked it up, walked to the break room, and poured it down the sink. Some things you can't take back. Some doors, once opened, stay that way. The next few weeks were a strange kind of peace. I settled into Marcus's guest room, found a rhythm, started remembering who I was before Chloe. I reconnected with friends I'd neglected. I went to the gym. I actually cooked meals instead of surviving on takeout and Chloe's occasional. I'm too tired to eat. Leftovers. It wasn't easy. There were nights I woke up reaching for her, nights I almost texted her, nights I convinced myself I'd made a mistake. But those nights got fewer as the weeks passed. The fog lifted. The weight on my chest got lighter. Then, 6 weeks after I left, I got a call from an unknown number. Hello? Derek? It's Sarah. Chloe's best friend. We'd always gotten along, but we weren't close enough for random calls. Hey, Sarah. What's up? It's Chloe. Her voice was tense. She's not doing well. She's been calling me crying every night, showing up at my apartment at 2 a.m. She's lost weight, she's not sleeping, she's barely functioning at work. I felt the familiar tug. The rescuer instinct. The need to fix things. I'm sorry to hear that, I said carefully. But I don't know what you want me to do. She needs closure, Derek. She needs to talk to you, really talk, without you walking out or shutting down. Can you just meet with her? One time? For both your sakes. I wanted to say no. Every instinct told me to say no. But the guilt was there, the old habit of prioritizing her needs over mine. One conversation, I said. That's it. Thank you. I'll text you the details. We met at a coffee shop near her apartment, neutral ground, public enough that things couldn't get too intense. I got there first, ordered a black coffee, and waited. When Chloe walked in, I barely recognized her. Sarah hadn't been exaggerating. Chloe had lost at least 15 pounds. Her face was hollow, her eyes shadowed. She wore no makeup, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She looked like someone who'd been surviving on cigarettes and anxiety. Hey, she said, sliding into the seat across from me. Hey. She ordered tea, wrapped her hands around the cup like it was the only warm thing in her life. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. I'm a mess, she finally said. You can see that, right? I nodded. Sarah told me you're struggling. Struggling. She laughed bitterly. That's one word for it. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't focus at work. I've called in sick 12 days this month. My supervisor put me on probation. Chloe, I'm sorry. Don't. She held up a hand. Don't apologize. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to make you feel guilty. I'm here because I need you to understand something. I waited. I was so sure you'd come back. Her voice cracked. Those first few weeks, I was angry. I told myself you were being dramatic, that you'd realize you overreacted and come crawling home. I told all our friends you were having some kind of breakdown. I made you the villain because it was easier than facing the truth. What truth? She looked at me, and there was something raw in her eyes. Something I'd never seen before. The truth that I pushed you away. Systematically, deliberately, over months and months. I was unhappy, not with you, but with myself. With my job, my life, my own head. And instead of dealing with it, I took it out on you. I made you the target of every frustration, every resentment, every fear I couldn't face. I didn't respond. Didn't know how. You kept trying, she continued, tears spilling now. You kept reaching out, kept planning dates, kept trying to connect. And I kept shutting you down because it was easier than admitting I was the problem. And then, when you finally pushed back, I said those words. I opened that door because I was so sure you'd never walk through it. I was so sure you loved me too much to leave. She wiped her face with a napkin. But you did leave. And now I'm here, alone with all the things I refuse to deal with, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if I can fix it. The coffee shop hummed around us. Orders being called. Laptops clicking. Normal life continuing while two people sat in the wreckage of theirs. Chloe, I said slowly, I don't know what you want me to say. I want you to say you forgive me. I do forgive you. Her face lit up, hope flickering. But that doesn't mean I'm coming back. The hope died. Replaced by something else. Understanding, maybe? Or acceptance. I know, she whispered. I know. I needed you to know that I see it now. I see what I did. I see who I became. And I'm getting help. Real help. Therapy, medication, the whole thing. I'm trying to be someone I can live with. That's good. That's really good. She nodded, sipped her tea. Can I ask you something? And please be honest. Okay. Are you happy? I thought about it. Thought about Marcus's guest room, about my growing freelance business, about the peace I'd found in being alone. I'm learning to be, I said. It's not instant. Some days are hard. But I'm not waking up every morning feeling like I'm failing someone. I'm not walking on eggshells. I'm not measuring my worth by whether I can make you happy. She absorbed that. Nodded slowly. I'm glad, she said. I mean that. I'm glad you're okay. We sat for another hour. Talked about small things. Her therapy, my work, mutual friends, Waffles. She'd kept him, was taking good care of him. It wasn't like old times. It couldn't be. But it also wasn't hostile or bitter. It was just two people who'd loved each other, acknowledging that love wasn't enough. When we walked out of the coffee shop, she hugged me. Tight, desperate, the kind of hug that says goodbye to more than just a person. I'm sorry, she whispered against my chest. For all of it. I know. I'm sorry too. She pulled back, wiped her eyes, and walked away. I watched her go, watched until she disappeared around a corner, and felt something I hadn't expected: peace. Not closure. I don't believe in closure as a single moment. But a step toward it. A page turned, even if the book wasn't finished. I got in my car and drove back to Marcus's. Back to my small room and my uncertain future, and my slowly rebuilding life. The door was open. I'd walked through it. And for the first time in years, I wasn't looking back. 6 months later, my life looked completely different. I'd moved out of Marcus's guest room and into a small one-bedroom apartment of my own. It wasn't much, beige walls, outdated kitchen, a view of the parking lot, but it was mine. I'd furnished it with second-hand finds and AITA assembly projects, and every time I walked through the door, I felt a little thrill of ownership. This is mine. I built this. My freelance business had grown into something real. I'd picked up 2 major clients, hired a part-time assistant, and actually started making more money than I had at my old job. I work from home now, in a corner of my living room that I'd converted into an office, and I loved every minute of it. I'd also started dating again. Casually, carefully, with no expectations. A few coffee dates here, a dinner there. Nothing serious, nothing that demanded more than I was ready to give. It was nice, actually, remembering that I was someone worth getting to know. And Chloe? Chloe was getting better. We'd stayed in touch, tentatively at first, then more regularly. Not daily, either of us wanted that, but occasional texts, the occasional phone call. She'd update me on her therapy, her progress, her slow climb out of the hole she'd dug for herself. I was proud of her. Genuinely. It takes courage to face the worst parts of yourself, and she was doing it. Derek? Her voice on the phone one night, hesitant. Yeah? I wanted to tell you something. I'm seeing someone. I felt a flicker of something, not jealousy exactly. More like surprise. Oh? That's great. Who is it? His name is Alex. He's a physical therapist. I met him at the gym, actually. We've been on a few dates and it's nice. He's nice. He's not you. I laughed. That's probably a good thing. Probably. She paused. I wanted to tell you because I didn't want you to hear it from someone else. And because... I don't know. I wanted your blessing? Is that weird? A little weird, yeah? But also kind of sweet. You don't need my blessing, Chloe. But if it helps, I'm happy for you. I hope he's good to you. He is. And I'm trying to be good to him. Actually good, not the way I was with you. I'm doing the work. In therapy, I mean. I'm learning how to be in a relationship without destroying it. That's all anyone can do. I know. I wanted you to know that I'm not that person anymore. The person who said those things, who treated you like that. I'm becoming someone else. Good. You deserve to be someone you're proud of. She was quiet for a moment. Then, so do you, Derek. I hope you know that. We hung up shortly after. I sat in my apartment, looking out at the parking lot, and felt something settle in my chest. Not closure, still not closure. But something like it. Something like two people who'd hurt each other finally learning how to heal separately. The real test came at a mutual friend's wedding. Marcus was getting married. The same Marcus who'd let me crash on his couch, who'd listened to me spiral and supported me through the worst of it. He was marrying his girlfriend of 4 years, and both Chloe and I were invited. I almost didn't go. The thought of seeing her in person, of navigating that awkwardness in front of everyone we knew, was almost enough to make me RSVP no. But Marcus had been my rock. I couldn't miss his day. I arrived alone, wore a suit I'd bought for the occasion, and spent the first hour nursing a drink and catching up with friends I hadn't seen in months. Then I saw her. Chloe looked good. Really good. Healthy. Happy. She was with a guy I assumed was Alex, tall, kind-eyed, with the sturdy build of someone who worked with their hands. He had his arm around her waist, and she was laughing at something someone said. She looked up, saw me, and for a moment, we just looked at each other across the crowded room. Then she smiled. A real smile. Warm and uncomplicated. I smiled back. She walked over, Alex in tow. Derek. You look great. You too. This must be Alex. Alex extended his hand. Nice to meet you. Chloe's told me a lot about you. All good things, I hope. Mostly. He grinned. The bad stuff she saves for her therapist. Chloe elbowed him, but she was laughing. We chatted for a few minutes, small talk, easy conversation, and then they drifted off to mingle. No drama. No awkwardness. Just two people who used to be together, existing in the same space without it destroying either of them. Marcus found me later, after the toasts, after the dancing had started. You okay? He asked, clapping me on the shoulder. I'm great, actually. This is a hell of a wedding. It is. He looked at me, assessing. You and Chloe seem fine. We are fine. We're both fine. It's weird. Weird good or weird bad? Weird good, I think. Like we're both different people now. The people who broke up don't exist anymore. These new versions are just acquaintances who share a history. Marcus nodded slowly. That's healthy, right? I think so. Yeah. He squeezed my shoulder and went back to his bride. I watched Chloe and Alex on the dance floor, swaying to some slow song, looking like any other couple in love. And I felt nothing. No jealousy. No regret. No longing for what we'd lost. Just peace. I danced with a few people. Drank too much champagne. Gave a terrible speech that everyone loved anyway. And somewhere around midnight, I found myself on the patio, looking up at the stars, feeling lighter than I had in years. A woman came out, lit a cigarette, noticed me. "Hideout's full?" I asked. She laughed. "Something like that. You're Derek, right? Marcus's friend?" "Yeah. And you are?" "Jenna. Friend of the bride." She was pretty, dark hair, sharp eyes, a smile that suggested she didn't take anything too seriously. We talked for an hour. About nothing and everything. About her job as a high school English teacher, about my freelance business, about the wedding, about life. It was easy. Effortless. The kind of conversation you have when you're not trying to impress anyone, not trying to prove anything. When I finally left, we exchanged numbers. Just in case. I didn't know if anything would come of it. Didn't know if I was ready for anything serious. But for the first time in a long time, the possibility felt exciting instead of terrifying. The door was open. I was walking through it. 2 years later, I'm sitting on the porch of a house I own, watching fireflies blink in the twilight. Jenna is inside making dinner, something with garlic and tomatoes that's been making my mouth water for the last hour. Our dog, a ridiculous golden retriever named Potato, is sprawled at my feet, dreaming of whatever dogs dream about. Life is good. No, life is better than good. Life is the kind of quiet, settled happiness I didn't think existed outside of movies. The kind that doesn't require constant drama or grand gestures or proving anything to anyone. Just steady. Warm. Real. Jenna and I have been together for a year and a half now. It started slowly, coffee dates that turned into dinners, dinners that turned into weekends, weekends that turned into a key to her apartment, then a key to mine, then a conversation about finding a place together. We moved into this house 6 months ago, and every morning I wake up next to her, I'm grateful. She's not Chloe. That's the point. She's patient where Chloe was impatient, open where Chloe was guarded, steady where Chloe was turbulent. She asks about my day and actually listens to the answer. She reaches for me in the dark. She makes me feel seen without making me feel like I'm performing for approval. And Chloe? Chloe's doing okay too. We don't talk much anymore, there's no reason to, but I get updates through mutual friends. She and Alex moved to Portland last year. She's still in nursing, still in therapy, still working on herself. Last I heard, they were talking about engagement. Good for her. I mean that sincerely. The question that brought me here, the one I asked myself 1,000 times in those first months after I left, was I the asshole? Did I overreact? Did I give up too easily? I've thought about it a lot. Turned it over in my mind like a stone, examined it from every angle. And here's what I've concluded. When someone tells you the door is open, believe them. Not because they're being literal, Chloe wasn't, not really. But because those words reveal something fundamental about how they see the relationship. They see your unhappiness as your problem. They see your departure as your choice. They've already checked out, they're just waiting for you to catch up. I could have stayed. Could have fought harder, tried longer, accepted less. Could have spent years proving my love to someone who'd already decided my love wasn't enough. Plenty of people do that. Plenty of people call it commitment. But I chose differently. I chose to believe that a relationship shouldn't require you to abandon yourself. That love shouldn't feel like a test you're constantly failing. That when someone opens the door, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk through it. Jenna comes out onto the porch, hands me a glass of wine, sits on the arm of my chair. Deep thoughts? She asks. Just thinking about fireflies. She laughs, kisses my temple. Liar. Okay. Thinking about how I got here. How any of us get anywhere. She's quiet for a moment, looking out at the yard. Does it matter? What do you mean? I mean, does the path matter as much as the destination? You're here. I'm here. We're happy. The rest is just context. She's right. She's usually right. I pull her into my lap, wrap my arms around her, breathe in the smell of her shampoo and garlic and home. I love you, I say. I love you too. The fireflies blink. Potato snores. The world keeps turning. And somewhere out there, Chloe is living her life, and I'm living mine, and we're both okay. That's the thing nobody tells you about endings. They're not always tragedies. Sometimes they're just doorways. Openings to something else. The door was open. I walked through. And on the other side I found this. I still think about those words sometimes. The door is open if you're unhappy. They echo in quiet moments, remind me of who I was and who I've become. I don't regret leaving. I don't regret staying as long as I did. I don't regret any of it. Because every step, every fight, every silence, every moment of doubt, led me here. To this porch. To this woman. To this life I didn't know I was building until it was already built. If I could go back and talk to that version of myself, standing in the bedroom doorway, hearing those words for the first time, I'd tell him to go. To leave faster. To stop wasting months trying to fix something that was already broken. But I'd also tell him to be gentle. With himself, with Chloe, with everyone caught in the wake. Because breakups aren't battles to be won. They're just endings. And endings, even painful ones, make room for beginnings. The door was open. I walked through. And I never looked back. That's it for today's stories. If you want to see more of the best threads Reddit has to offer, make Reddit Be Mine a part of your daily routine. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a heartbeat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next thread.